Morning, everyone. Brian Tiny Crypto Blog. A little nippy this morning. I'm in Albuquerque, and it's in the 40 degrees Fahrenheit, so hat and gloves. In fact, Ben Davidson, suspicious observers, see, this way's north. He's somewhere that way, several miles on the northwest side of town. Ben Davidson, you probably never see this video. Hello from a fellow observer. I've been watching your channel for a few years now. Several years, actually. Anyway, getting on. Yeah, I was going to try and get a nice sunrise video here. Let me get a sip here. I was going to try and catch an early sunrise video where you can see the Sandia Mountains and get a good shot of like beautiful oranges and reds, but I couldn't make it in time, so it looks like they're spraying a lot of aerosols for clouds today. The temperature's been like going down to 40s at night and going up to, yesterday got up to like the high 60s, low 70s. So they're doing some serious temperature management around here. Anyway, on to cryptos. So yesterday, Ben Semchi's video talking about, I need to find a place to rest my hand. Let's try this. Ben Semchi's video where he was talking about Coinbase's new index fund for accredited investors, meaning big bucks, big money, and that it would also be a vehicle for the same individuals and groups that buy bonds, like large sums of bonds. I apologize, my mind's still a little foggy this morning. Not the best night of uninterrupted sleep. What do they call the investment funds? Venture capitalists? Hedge funds, there we go. Hedge funds, they can get in on the game, and how the amount of his take, Ben Semchi's take, was that prices were being kind of pounded down purposefully so that a lot of these funds, a lot of these big money players have a lower price point to get in, which I can't disprove it, but at the same time too, when you're talking about manipulation of asset prices for the purposes of making money, when you look at any other market, stock market, precious metals markets, commodities markets, I mean, just think of Enron. And if you're not familiar with Enron, boys and girls, look it up. Enron is something that if they had all their transactions and all their info on a blockchain, would not be possible because you'd have verifiable data. Enron, Arthur Andersen, shredding. There's a search term for you. But Enron, it's like their commodities traders would call up the power stations that they owned and tell them, we need a shutdown for today. And they would tell them to adjust the energy output so that the available energy on the market would fluctuate, and the prices that energy would go for would change, and they would trade and charge based on that. It was outright manipulation. I mean, manipulation to, hey, have Bob tell Susie that Dan, who's got an eye on Susie, has an eye on the girl that I have an eye on, said this or that. I mean, it's manipulation. It's something that happens. To say that it doesn't happen in cryptos, I'm sure it does happen. I'm sure it does. And the thing is just we don't know the mechanisms. We don't know the behind the curtain stuff going on. So once we do know that, we'll go, our suspicions were confirmed. Yep, they were manipulating the prices. Moving forward, these low prices make for a great entry point for big money to get in. One example was, I think it was CryptoLark saying, who sold Bitcoin at 6,000? Well, he said, I know who did get in. Big money, smart money. individuals with good fortitude. I'm like all black this morning. I got dark green. Here. How goofy is this? I brought a hat for a prop just for the occasion. So, that's the money getting in on the game is smart money. Who sold at 6,000? Well, who bought at 6,000? Same thing now. Who's selling Litecoin at 172? Who's buying Litecoin at 172? I got in probably about, wait a second. It might be a little bit lower, but I got in like around 176, I'll tell you that. I bought a little more Litecoin because I said it's a good time. Prices are being hammered down, monkey hammered down. Today hit the double-digit plunge where it's like, the sky is falling, the world is ending, cryptos are going to die. No, they're not. No, they're not. You don't have NASDAQ, who has an ownership in Digital Currency Group, who has ownership stake in Coinbase, who appointed a an executive from the New York Stock Exchange to join their corporate board and set up an investment fund for accredited investors if cryptos are going to die. They're not going to die. Prices are down. And then a point that Omar Baum brought up, it was an old interview, was that low prices like this now shakes out a lot of the Lambo moonshot mentality, and people start to really examine, why am I in cryptos? Is it just to make a buck, or am I really, want to take part in something bigger going on? Like the fundamental part. Not, I'm into the tech, but I want to be part of this movement, this decentralization going on around the world, where humanity is maturing and coming back to par where we should be with self-responsibility. To which I'm going to say, always do your own research and never make investment decisions based on just the opinion of a person or something that you hear or read. Be sure to do your research and get stuff from multiple sources, even if it's just watching different YouTube channels. That's still doing research to try and come to your own conclusions. So the big money's coming into the space. All right. What does this mean? This means if you ever watched Andreas Antonopoulos, and I've got him on the recommended channels he's got a YouTube channel, and I've got him on the recommended YouTube channels on the WordPress page. He talks about, it was an example of a hard fork, but he used the example of a restaurant. In the restaurant, another pigeon flying right over me. What the hell? I'm like this energetic beacon or something. About how a decentralized currency is like a restaurant, and you have all the participants. You have the cooks who are cooking the food. You have the people, the patrons who are eating there. You have the waiters and waitresses, the staff, and all of them think that they run the place, but they don't. And there's two other participants that they had. The people who supply the restaurant, and I think something else. I linked it in yesterday's Ben Semchi video, which is linked if you're on WordPress, linked in this page. But it takes the you've also got the miners. Sorry, I'm jumping around. You've got all the participants there thinking they're in charge when they're not. It takes everyone's participation to make a decentralized cryptocurrency work. And in the real life existence, it's the end users, the people trading and buying and selling Bitcoin, a crypto. You've got the miners or the stakers, if that's the case. You've got the developers. They're the ones involved. You have the people involved in the communities, that, the online forums, the people holding discussions, the people having conferences, the people, you could say the people like the YouTubers and the bloggers sharing the information, disseminating it out to all people around the world, and that all those parties are involved, and they sort of make up the crypto space. Well, now you've got big money coming, and you've got big players coming in. And if you think about Wall Street, You think about the stock market, the bond markets, the derivatives markets, all these markets, they're not driven by individual investors. It's a community where big money is what is driving things, and that's where cryptos are going to be going. Our crypto space, our beloved crypto space, is going to be driven, and it's going to change dramatically. Look at the Winklevoss quote from up above. I've also, the quote's also a link to the article that I pulled that from. That is, that is coming, that's going to drive the space. That's going to create the situation where big money is going to determine the direction of things and prices more than hype, as was pointed out to me, and more than just the individual things. And it's like, we're going to have to accept that. And as big money comes into the space, that new energy coming in is going to lead, it's going to trigger interest from people in the mainstream who are not yet involved, and they're going to start coming into the space. And remember when you came into the space, how ignorant, wet behind the ears you were, filled with enthusiasm, filled with excitement, but not knowing shit from shinola. You didn't know anything about hypes. You didn't know anything about lending platforms. You didn't understand what ZK snarks, what are ring signatures, what's a privacy token, what platform token, what a utility token. Wait, what's the difference between Litecoin and Wait, Litecoin's a fork of Bitcoin? What the hell's a fork? And you're going to have people coming into the space. And as new people come in, one thing that I think about, so Chicago Blackhawks, franchise, stumbling and bumbling for years. The son of the former owner takes over, makes a lot of changes. Blackhawks become successful. A lot of hardcore people who had been devout followers for years, there's complaints of all these new people. Oh, the new people that jumped on board, now the Blackhawks are good. And it makes me think of, there was a bit of conflict with that. It's like that where we have tribalism, it's that tribal energy and the thing that I want to say, especially for the crypto space, is don't deride people who are new. Educate them. Share your information. They're going to be making the same stupid mistakes we did and asking the same ignorant questions out of ignorance that we did. So for God's sake, reach out to those people and, share with them. Go, hey, check out this link. Hey, check out this channel. Hey, check out this blog. Check out this Reddit page. Check out, you're asking what the hell HODL is? Go to this link. In fact, I do have a web page. Actually, it's on the dictionary page too. What is HODL? And they can learn about the history, and because people are going to be energized, whether they're a libertarian, a cyberpunk person like the early roots of cryptos were, those types of people, that I guess I can consider myself a part of that group to an extent where I love the tech and what it means for decentralization and for human freedom and sovereignty. I mean, to be your own banker, to be your own bank and determine how to spend value and how to allocate value, that's huge. You don't have that centralized authority outside yourself, external, making the decisions for you. You have to educate yourself and have to make these decisions and make these informed decisions on your own. You have to shoulder the responsibility on your own and learn how to do that again. Put on your big boy and big girl pants and mature to adulthood, mature to a mental, to an emotional, to a spiritual adulthood, and make these decisions. And it's our job as part of this to help people do that, and sharing that and educating them, and being patient, realizing, we can't be snobs. We can't be knowledge snobs and say, well, get with the program, man, you ignorant puss. No, it's your job to say, I see you're new. Let me help you out here. Because these same people, you can either snub them and push them away on the fence, or you can reach out your hand, have them grab it, and then have them come on your side. Now, naturally, because they're coming on at a different point in time, when the nature of cryptos and who's in the space and the energy of the space is different than what it was a year ago. Like in my case, when I jumped on board, hey, I'm on 10 months. God damn, 10 months. It's been, in crypto years, it's forever. May of 2017 was I bought my first $25 of a crypto. I think it was Bitcoin, actually, on Coinbase. But, the people are going to be different and change, but fundamentally, they're going to understand, and especially if you get involved and help them, cold coffee, or coffee when cold. If you help them get involved, they are going to help define the nature of that space. You're not just, true, you're going to have big money making all these big moves, but you're also going to have these new people adding to our numbers of the individuals, of the people, the users in the restaurant who, like Vertcoin because of this reason. You think of the great communities out there, the Ethereum community, the Bitcoin community, the Litecoin community. I think of the ones that I like. The Vertcoin community, it's a fantastic community. God, I wish that coin was more profitable, because I'd say, gosh, I could always consider mining that stuff, You think about, Dogecoin, which, if I understand it right, there are no developers. It is just a community of people. Good God. And just all these, there's Dash and just so many other coins and communities out there that big money can't define. You can't buy that kind of community. You can't buy those kinds of bonds. You can't do that. And we need to onboard people. I was going to make this video about just the big money coming in, but it's sort of morphed into having the big money, but also you got to educate people. You got to educate people. Don't push them away. Embrace them. Bring them on board. Educate them. And, make sure you follow rule number 2. Don't be a dick, or at least try not to be. And don't be a crypto snob. Be nice and understand. You're going to have people onboarding for years now, but these new people coming in, they're going to be just as enthused. They're going to have a different perspective on things, and we need to accept that. That it's the vibe and the energy of the crypto space is changing, and it's going to change. And it may not be this nice little quiet community of intimate people, but as long as those people of intimates stay in there, like your YouTubers that have been reporting for a long time, or people in the community, or hell, people like myself who basically just blog, shares information, say, hey, if you're looking for info, here's some info. If you find it helpful, use it. Educate yourself. There you go. You're welcome. I love doing this. That's why I do it like I do. As long as we are staying involved, we have a stake in the game. And that's what's important. Staying involved, continue engaging, and don't be a dick. So I'm going to wrap up this video because, damn, it's almost hitting 20 minutes. If someone watches this for 20 minutes, you are awesome. Because, well, no. Yeah, you're awesome because sometimes I don't listen to me for 20 minutes. Sometimes I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, no, I'm going to listen to some music. Thank you very much. And doubleheader video. There we go. So, if you are on any of the platforms, if you're on WordPress, be sure to follow. You can get more news. Like this if you like it. It'll help get this information out for others to find. If you are on other platforms, you're on Steemit, Tiny Crypto Blog, Twitter, Tiny Crypto Blog, Facebooks, Tiny Crypto Blog, and YouTube, Tiny Crypto Blog. And yes, give these things likes, shares, follows, so you can keep up. This information can get out there and help other people educate themselves. And do your research, because ignorance will get you punished, especially in the crypto space. There's a lot of scammers and manipulators out there. And be well, everyone. Talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.